Okay, ladies and gentlemen, glad to meet you again here. For you, the first timer in my channel, allow me to introduce myself. I'm Dr. Henry Suhendra, a sport medicine orthopedic surgeon, currently practicing here in Jakarta, Indonesia. I'm at the moment 65 years old. The purpose of this video is to convey the latest clinical study done in Indonesia. So people will know that we have our own study done in this country. The latest study is about COVID-19 and the relationship with vitamin D blood level. Okay, before we go into the study itself, let me give you some backgrounds. Please be aware that there is no treatment whatsoever at the moment for COVID-19. Even the vaccine will not be available in the near foreseeable future. If you hear from internet about this medicine or drug being tested, shortly speaking, they are all experimental. There is none that has been approved yet. And to make things worse, from reliable sources, we learn that this coronavirus will stay with us indefinitely, just like HIV virus, SARS and MERS. So it is of utmost importance that we prepare ourselves better to fight this virus in our environment. We cannot overemphasize the importance of living a healthy lifestyle. This has been repeated again and again by the government. So it is a platitude now. But anyway, it is still very important. We need to wash our hands as often as possible. We need to wear masks wherever we go. And we need to observe the physical distancing for at least 2 meters, I would say. Because we have to realize that 80% of infected people are asymptomatic, meaning they show no signs and symptoms. But it is dangerous because they can spread the infection to their surroundings. Well, that's some backgrounds. Indeed, it is a collective responsibility for all of us because casualties are inevitable. So while waiting for the silver bullet to be available, which is not soon, we have to realize that anything, anytime, can easily go haywire. This is exactly why we need to do something else now. Start today. Do not delay. It is simple and easy. And actually, it is at our disposal. Well, Dr. Tom Frieden, the former director of CDC USA, a couple of months ago stated that vitamin D can reduce the incidence of COVID-19. This statement has been supported by many other scientists from everywhere, I should say, from India, from UK, and they are saying the same thing. Even the latest one will be a study from Northwestern University, Chicago, which says that people with low blood level of vitamin D, when they are infected by COVID-19, the mortality rate is 2 times higher than people with normal blood level of vitamin D. Okay. I know lots of researchers or doctors, even locally here, still of the opinion that vitamin D is not that important. All they have to do is actually browse the medical journal. They will find tons of convincing medical studies showing the efficacy of vitamin D. So surprisingly, for some doctors, this issue is still a contentious one, even to the extent that I would say for them, it is still a vitamin D conundrum. So that's about some background. And let's get into the Indonesian study itself. Well, the Indonesian study involves 780 cases. The study was done by Prabowo Raharusun and friends from Government Hospital in Central Kalimantan, or Central Borneo if you wish. 780 cases of COVID-19. They were not all their cases, but they just collected cases from medical records from government hospital nationwide, and they related the incidence with the blood level of vitamin D. And interestingly, this is what they found. This is what they found. I'll show you. I'll show you. I'll show you. I'll show you. Okay. Actually, what they found is the study was done from March until April, and from 780 cases, 49.7% is normal. Is with normal vitamin D, 27.7% is with insufficient vitamin D, 23% with deficient vitamin D. By normal, by definition, normal is when you have 30 or above nanogram per milliliter. Insufficient is 21 until 29 nanogram per milliliter of vitamin D, and deficient is 20 or less nanogram per milliliter. And the interesting results showed that for normal group, the mortality rate is 4%. So listen to this, watch this carefully. For the insufficient group, it's a giant leap. The mortality rates became 88%. And even so worrisome is the deficient group gave out 99%, so almost all of them will die. So somebody asked me, even normal vitamin D still gave out 4% of mortality rates. This is something to discuss, but I can assure you this is because the author of this study used a criteria or guideline made by the Endocrine Society from 1980 something, which stated that normal blood level of vitamin D is 30 or above nanogram per mil. 30 or above is considered normal, which I personally don't agree with. I'll explain it later. Because actually, there's another guideline which I am personally more inclined to observe or to endorse, which is from the endocrine. Oh, that is another criteria is from the Vitamin D Council. Vitamin D Council, UK and USA, and the criteria being used by the Central Kalimantan study is from the Endocrine Society. This is the Endocrine Society. And the difference is in the Vitamin D Council guideline, we aim for 80 to 100 to be normal. We believe that if you want to increase your immunity, if you want to boost your immunity, you have to reach 80 to 100 nanogram per milliliter of vitamin D in your blood. Yes. And also here, deficient is less than 40 nanogram per mil. All right. So the conclusion of the study, of the Indonesian study, vitamin D is associated not only with decreased severity, but decreased mortality as well. Decreased severity will involve blood clots, hypoxia, respiratory distress. Okay, so that's about the local study. Now my conclusion is I'm a studious person. Remember, medicine is a lifelong study. And as one of the founders and currently the managing director of Vitamin D Society Indonesia, I personally have the opinion that the holy grail for the human immunity against COVID-19 is absolutely vitamin D. Okay, that's the end of the video this time. I hope you will find this useful and helpful. Hopefully, we'll meet again in my next video. In the meantime, stay healthy and blessed, and until next time, mantenerse saludable y bendecido. Hasta próxima, amigo. Goodbye.